starting it here in this one. That's also starting. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Today I want to present you my colleague Dave Anand, and we want to hear about the latest technology for BioCNG plants, which is, of course, a hot topic around the globe right now. And the technologies have advanced quite a lot in the last years. And for that reason, I want you to listen to what Dave Anand has to say. Hello, Dave. Welcome to this presentation.
Hello, Thomas. Thank you. Thanks for that introduction. So, yes, so in India now it's BioCNG is booming, and with the current scenario, I think the momentum will gain much more from now. And yes, as you rightly pointed out, we would like to give a complete solution. We call it as a 360-degree approach. So I have a brief presentation on this, so I thought I can just run through this so that in brief you'll understand about how we are approaching this BioCNG market.
Perfect. Please go ahead.
I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah. So let us discuss about the 360-degree approach, because we thought that we need to do much more than the BioCNG by doing some value additions, so which is much needed so that the economic viability of the BioCNG projects, which should be more attractive to the investor. So we are trying to bring in a robust technology which can handle the different types of substrates. And our approach is quite unique because we focus on multiple resources from the BioCNG project. And our designs are basically on a life cycle based design. So we focus, because all these projects should sustain for about 20-25 years. So all our design parameters are tuned to achieve this. And we also do the biomonitoring services, where we can do the remote monitoring and see the health of the digesters. So, and we are combining this with the latest AI technology so that we can on a daily basis see how this plant is performing. So these are the value propositions what we are trying to bring in. And with our 3 decades of experience in handling different types of substrates and different technologies, we are trying to narrow down and trying to bring in all these robust technologies under one umbrella so that it can handle the various types of feedstock and give the maximum yields. In India now, the main one is the Napier grass is the main substrate, which everyone started growing the Napier grass on their own as an energy plantation, and then harvesting this at regular intervals and then trying to use this. And this is one of the evolving agro feedstock which can grow very well in the tropical climate. But unfortunately, there are not many biogas plants which were working in Napier grass. Of course, now for the past 2 years, there's a lot of plants which are coming up with this Napier grass, and because this also requires a large amount of land for cultivating. And the challenges with respect to the feedstock, not only Napier grass, for that matter, any agro feedstock, is that the key challenges are it has a high lingocellulosic content, and it has a very low digestibility because of this, because breaking these fibers is not that easy. And this can also form a scum on top of the digester if it is not treated properly. And the lignin content, which forms the barrier, for this digestibility, is another issue. So all these things has to be, we have to address this through a proper pre-treatment. So the pre-treatment should be very, very robust. Can it be achieved with only one single pre-treatment? No. We are trying to bring in a solution where we can handle a hybrid of pre-treatment, so that we ensure that it is the complete organic matter gets digested, so that we get the maximum yield. So we have developed a fungi-based inoculum, which would act on this lingocellulosic material to loosen the fibers, as well as partially break down the lignins as well, so that the dry matter content is available for the digestion in the digester. It becomes easy for the microbes to digest. So as a first step, we are trying to bring in this fungi-based inoculum, where it would be dosed at the point of baling. Because here we use the baling process, where as the Napier grass is harvested, this machine, which is on a mobile platform, will try to bale this. At the point of baling, we inject this fungi-based inoculum, and this is kept outside. The bales, you can see that it doesn't require a shed, so you can store it for about 20 days, and then this goes as a feedstock to the biogas plant. And most of the fibers are loosened in this process, and you also need a stock, because harvesting Napier grass during a monsoon is a big challenge. So always a stock is required. So unlike a silage where you have base and compaction and covers on top, there'll be loss of organic content, leachate. This baling system is quite advanced one, where it is all the biomass is baled in a proper polymeric material, and then we do the debaling later on when it is being fed into the digester. And the feeding also has to be very consistent. So what we are trying to bring in is another good German technology here with dosing tanks, which has the conveyors, which can also remove the foreign particles. If there is some stones or mud, it can be removed in this stage. And this will give a consistent feed to the digesters. So this is the first point where the debaled Napier grass is loaded here. And from this loading bay, we have the conveyors which would push this to the feeding system. So this will ensure that there is a consistent feed which is going on to the digester. So here we don't go with the complete, slurry tanks where we have to add water and do the mixing. So here we use a CC mix. The CC mix would take the solid feed as well as the liquid feed, and it will blend and form a slurry. So we can adjust the consistency, and either 10% or 12% consistency can be easily adjusted here. And this can also remove any other foreign matters like stones, metals, which are coming in, so that these things don't get into the digester and occupy the space. So this is one of the major issues in many of the digesters. You get at the bottom, all these foreign matters gets accumulated, and over a period of time, it becomes very difficult to remove. and as well it will drop the mixing efficiencies as well. So we ensure that, because if you're handling about 100 tons of Napier grass or 200 tons of Napier grass, so that becomes difficult if you are going to operate it on a manual mode, because you can't prepare a slurry of 10 to 12% manually, because there will be always an error which happens. So it's always better to have this type of mixing systems. That's why we have the CC mix, where it can combine the solid and the liquid and can give the right ratio of the slurry consistency which can be fed to the digester. And coming to the main digesters, we always prefer to offer the glass fused tanks. These are not glass coated tanks, these are glass fused tanks, where in the manufacturing of these panels itself, the glass is getting fused into the molten metal. So this has very good properties, anti-corrosion properties, and best suited for biogas digesters. And it has a very long life, about 50 years, and this can be built within a span of about 6 to 8 weeks time. And these are panels which will come in a consignment, and we can just fix it at site. And it requires minimum manpower, and it has a very long lifespan. And tomorrow, if you want to dismantle this, this can be easily done as well. And this has a lot of advantages when compared to the civil, because always that on the headspace we have the hydrogen sulfide production also happening, and this hydrogen sulfide is highly corrosive, which can go and attack the civil structures. So if the civil structures are not constructed properly, over a period of time you have this gas getting inside and attacking the the rods, metal rods, and weakens the structure, and there'll be loss of gas. So this is a very robust system now, which is being adopted by many other companies as well. And this is a very standard feature in our system, that we go with the glass fused tanks, not glass coated tanks. So this is what we offer as for the digesters. As far as the configuration, the process configuration is that we offer a two-stage digester. So the first stage is being a thermophilic digester with about 55 degrees temperature, and second stage would be a mesophilic, and the heating is carried out using a hot water system, a briquette fire hot water system. And the reason for going for thermophilic and mesophilic combination is that there is a phase separation which is happening, so it is easy to have a process control. This is number one. Number two is that thermophilic digesters are very good as a pre-treatment for the lingocellulosic content, where this can break the fibers and digest the fibers faster, so that the mesophilic downstream process can happen very, very efficiently. A combination of these two stages would also have reduced retention times. Unlike large tanks, this requires a very, very small retention volume. So that is another advantage. So you have a space saving, you have a faster digestion, and an easier process control. And also you have a fantastic pathogen reduction. So this is the advantage of the two-stage anaerobic process, and we adopt this process for the main digestion. So for the breaking this lingocellulosic biomass, anyhow, we do have the first stage of fungi-based treatment, but we also have the ultrasound cavitation system, which is well proven and in the market for more than 25 years for different substrates. And this ultrasound cavitation is nothing but we give the ultrasound at a particular frequency, which would break the fibers further and makes it available for the microbes for digestion. And a combination of fungi based and the ultrasound cavitation will give the best results. So here we just do a portion of the digestate is taken and recycled through this system, and so that continuously the cavitation also happens in the closed loop. And combining these hybrid pre-treatment system, fungi based and then ultrasound cavitation, we expect a gas production of additional 30% from the conventional process. So we get 30% more yield of biogas, which means more productivity. Then coming to the hydrogen sulfide systems, the most important thing is removal of the hydrogen sulfide. Yes, downstream, yes, we can reduce the hydrogen sulfide through a wet scrubbing or dry scrubbing or a biological scrubbing. So here we follow a very unique system, which is an air dosing system, which is very popular in Germany. And a small amount of air is injected onto the headspace, which would reduce the hydrogen sulfide into elemental sulfur. So the elemental sulfur gets inside the digestate and comes out as the digestate. So the manure is rich in elemental sulfur, which is also good for the agriculture. So here we remove close to about 98 to 99% of H2S is removed in the headspace itself. Downstream, further, we do have some small polishing for hydrogen sulfide. Then it can go for the biogas upgrading plants, for improving the methane content. So the advantage of the system is this is totally an automatic system, and you have better reduction than any conventional system, and not much of maintenance, and there is no replacement which is involved here. So these are the advantages, and it's a well proven. There are more than 1,000 plants in operation, operating successfully in all of Europe, achieving these results. And mixing is very, very important in a digester. So we felt that you should have a very, very robust mixing systems. So this is a gas ejector, what we call it as gas lifter, a technology from Japan. We try to incorporate this in our system, and this consumes very less energy in terms of any other mixing system which are there in the market. So this just consumes 1/5 of the energy required by the other systems. So the patented process here is that you have to inject a small portion of gas at the bottom of this ejectors, and this will form a very turbulent mix, and this will ensure that the digester is completely mixed, because this gas mixing will ensure that there are no dead spots. Unlike in the conventional mixing system, there is always a chance that there are dead spots in the digester where the mixing cannot reach at these spots. But this will totally mix this in a very sequential manner. So this is just fixed inside, and this is a polymeric material, so you have to just fix it and forget it. You need not have to worry about this. So we have to just keep on injecting the portion of biogas in a sequential automated control sequence, and this will purge the gas inside and ensure that 100% mixing is happening inside the digester. And no maintenance, because there are no moving parts in the system, and energy consumption is just 1/5 of the conventional systems. So biogas upgrading, yes, it also depends upon the quantum of BioCNG you want to biogas you want to upgrade to BioCNG. So we normally offer the amine-based system, amine absorption systems, where the methane purity is very good, up to 99%, and methane recoveries are up to 98-99%. So this is what the project developer also looks for, because we don't want to go for a PSA system, VPSA system, where the recoveries are not more than 90%. So we suggest that amine-based would bring in more gas, more recoveries, which are beneficial for the project developer. So we stick on to the amine-based. And in some cases, we also give membrane-based, but membrane, again, we need to have a replacement of the membrane after 5-6 years. So amine-based is quite robust, because this is what is mainly used in handling many types of sour gases in the refineries as well. So there is a very good track record for amine absorption system. So we prefer to offer this. And the CO2 also can be captured, and it can be liquefied and bottled and it can be sold as an industrial grade or a food grade. So the amine based, as I told you, like you have the best outputs. And CO2 can be upgraded to food grade and industrial grade. So it needs little bit, it's an energy intensive process, but we have an internal energy recovery system. So we ensure that the energy which is given to the system is also recovered back in the process and for other heating requirements as well. So in that way, it is well balanced, and integrating the heat recovery process would makes it quite economical. And the CO2, we also have another option that we can use the CO2, and we have patented hybrid algae photobioreactor system where the CO2 can be injected and we can produce algae biomass, and we can have two fractions here. We can get two fractions. One is the algae protein, as well as we get a biodiesel. And if you want a sustainable aviation fuel, that is also possible. Only thing, the culture has to be different for that. So based on the customer preference, we can go with biodiesel or sustainable aviation fuel, which are the alternate fuels just catching up in the market. So your BioCNG CO2, which is stripped out, is now we are trying to convert that into a resource. Now coming back to the dewatering systems and the downstream digestate, because this digestate, after dewatering, you cannot recirculate back in the process as it is, because this has ammonia content as well. So if you try to recirculate this water for slurry preparation without treating it, so the ammonia concentration gets increased in the digester and it will cross the threshold limits. So we want to have a robust digestate treatment also downstream. So what we offer is that since ammonia is there, we want to just recover this ammonia and convert this into ammonium sulfate. So the first stage of the process is what we have, the digestate liquid treatment process is a dewatering system which would separate the solids and liquids, and the liquid part will go into a drum screen for removing any other fibrous content, and then the solid part is taken out, and the liquid part will go into a membrane process, and the concentrate gets back into the fan separator for dewatering, and the permeate will go for the scrubbing process for recovering the ammonium sulfate. So ammonium sulfate is again recovered through a membrane process, and this ammonium sulfate is a very good fertilizer, and the concentrate goes back to the fan separator for further separation. Now we offer the membrane-based ammonium sulfate process, where the membranes would separate out the ammonia, and we get ammonium sulfate concentrate by integrating it along with the the evaporators, and we also concentrate the nutrients and we recover the nutrients also, the NPK. So we get a little bit of premium quality nutrients which can be sold in the market. So you get the nutrient concentrate as well as you also get the ammonium sulfate. So this is the advantage. So from the ammonia, we are just converting this into recovering this as ammonium sulfate, and the nutrients are also recovered through this process. And the solid part from the fan separator, which can be also sold as the compost, but we are trying to add more value by putting an in-vessel composting unit where the composting or the curing can happen faster, and then this goes for the humic acid extraction. And this our process produces two resources. One is the humic acid, the other one is the enriched manure in the granular form. Already we are tied up with people to buy this humic acid and enriched manure. So there is a good potential for this. So instead of selling this as a compost, you sell this as a humic acid and an enriched manure in the form of granules. There are higher returns. So we offer this as an integrated solution. And monitoring is very, very vital for any biogas system, because this is a biological process. Because once it slows down, if there is some process irregularities, and then, so what happens is that it will take time for restabilizing the entire unit. So it's very important to monitor some critical parameters on an hourly basis. So we have provided smart monitoring systems with an intelligent controls, which will check the pH of the digesters, check the temperature in the digesters, check the oxidation reduction potential in the digester, and also it will measure the flow, the gas flow, the slurry flow, and also the output gas composition, and what is the moisture levels. Everything is periodically monitored, and whatever is monitored would go into a data logging system, and then from the data logging it goes into a cloud control, which is again managed by us, and from the cloud control you get the complete reports. So as a system builder, we get the data as the and the user also gets this data, so that we know that the status of the digester. So if there's anything problem, we know well in advance, so that we can take some remedial measures, remedial actions. So this is totally packed, and we also get an AI generated report on the daily performance of the systems. All these are comes under the cloud control and the smart monitoring process. So to summarize, so we don't just stick on only to the BioCNG. So that's why we call it as a 360-degree approach. We take care of the pre-treatment, we take care of the main treatment, we take care of the gas purification, we take care of the downstream digestate, and we are trying to take the maximum recoveries possible from this. So if you see from our approach, you get the highlight of our offer is that we use the hybrid type of pre-treatment process, smart monitoring systems, two-stage digestion, amine absorption, and I can call it as air dosing in situ H2S removal. So these are the highlights of our offer, and the entire project, BioCNG project, we call this as M2R process. It's called multiple resource recovery biorefinery process. So you can see the final one as we get BioCNG. Apart from BioCNG, we can get carbon capture, and we can produce algae. We get nutrient concentrate, ammonium sulfate, we get enriched manures in the form of granules, humic acid production, and biodiesel, biofuel, or sustainable aviation fuel. So all these under one roof. So if you have multiple resources, that will give a better financial stability for the project. We are also tied up and with a company who was also cultivating the agro feedstocks, particularly Napier grass, where they assure us that from the conventional yield of 150 to 180 tons per acre per year, we can get about 500 to 600 tons per acre per year. So we are also working along with them, so that this will drastically reduce on the cultivation area, and because cultivation requires huge area as well. So this again a value addition, though we don't do the cultivation part of it, but we try to align our project developer with this agro company as well. So as Kankyo Bert, yes, we do have experience in handling different types of substrates, and we are already present in about 22 countries handling different types of substrates. right from the decentralized plants to the centralized plants. We have the experience in handling this, and we are just trying to bring our experience in the market and trying to give all this value proposition to our customers so that their project becomes truly 100% self-sustainable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dave, for this wonderful presentation. I just want to add one more thing, which we also do, and that is the operator training.
Yeah.
Because, you know, lots of investors are focused on capex and saving on money on capex and cutting maybe short on technology, or they even go for good technology, but frequently they are saving on the education of the operator. And that is like if you are buying a wonderful car, but you have a driver that has not any driving experience, never was in a driving school, and you just put him behind the steering wheel of this expensive car, right? So maybe you can say a little bit about what we are doing here from Kankyo Bert to ensure that the operators are not these unexperienced drivers.
Absolutely. So that's very important. So whatever technology we are trying to bring in, so if there are no proper operators available, so then it becomes very, very difficult to operate these technologies. So from our training center, so we have a training center in Chennai where we train the operators on the troubleshooting. So we give them the basic knowledge about this and also train these operators, and we certify these operators. Even if the client wants to engage an outside operator, they have to pass our training. So then only they will be employed at the facility. So this we are trying to give as a value addition also. So we are creating the right resources to operate the plant, and we have the training modules and we have training modules and training happening at our training centers so that they will get the hands of experience on this. So this is a short-term course about 4 weeks to 6 weeks time frame. So they get all the basic inputs so that they can operate the systems very, very efficiently.
Thank you. I think this is very important to understand and also not to forget. Okay, I think if you have any questions, please send us an email. We are happy to discuss with you individually your project. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.